Good afternoon. I want to acknowledge that I am speaking to you from the territory of the Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish peoples, and I'm honored to be here on their territories today. I'm joined today by Nicholas Jimenez, President and CEO of ICBC, who will join me in taking your questions in a few moments. Since 2017, our government has been working to make life more affordable, and that includes for millions of vehicle owners in this province. Today marks a significant milestone in those efforts, with ICBC set to apply to the BC Utilities Commission for the largest decrease to basic insurance rates in more than 40 years. With its approval, starting May 1st, drivers will begin seeing savings of 20% or about $400 on their basic and optional vehicle insurance as a result of ICBC's new enhanced care coverage. In fact, some customers will see savings on their optional insurance even sooner than expected, as ICBC will be reducing its third-party liability rates starting February the 1st. Then, when enhanced care takes effect in the spring, millions of British Columbians will also receive a one-time prorated refund. Our goal is to leave more money in people's pockets over the longer term. Government has directed that ICBC's basic rate application cover 2 years instead of the standard 1 year, helping to provide predictability on these lower basic insurance rates through to at least early 2023. Tomorrow's basic rate application also sets out how ICBC will contribute to a fund that will help ensure better rate stability in the future. Another one of our government's top ongoing priorities is ensuring people receive the vital services that they need. That's the other good news today. Beyond premium savings, ICBC's new enhanced coverage will provide people with significantly improved care and recovery benefits if they're injured in a crash regardless of fault, with overall benefits of a maximum of at least $7.5 million. In closing, I want to reassure British Columbians that more affordable rates and coverage that better takes care of them are just around the corner. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. And a reminder to the media once again to please press *1 to line up for questions. We will be taking one question and one follow-up this afternoon. Also, please do not mute your phones. You will not be heard until I call your name. We begin today with Lisa Yudza, News 1130. Lisa, go ahead, please.
Hello, Minister. I'm going to ask about something that's not ICBC, I'm sorry, but looking at COVID-19 and the regulations and people not following them, RCMP have suggested charges against the churches in Abbotsford who are breaching the orders, hearing about a party in Big White near Kelowna where a bunch of staff got together. Is there the opportunity for fines or charges against people who have been proven through an investigation into health that they have breached orders, like in a large scale, like the churches or these parties that we're seeing, which presumably there'll be more over the holidays? Is there an opportunity for retroactive kind of fines if police aren't there, or even charges?
What I can tell you is that the police are able to levy fines, which they have been doing and have been done over this weekend. They also are able to levy additional charges if in the course of their investigations they find out that there have been other breaches that have taken place, or that there have been repeated offences, and so they assess the situation and act accordingly. And as we've seen in the cases of these three individual churches out in Chilliwack, they have recommended the forwarding of charges to the Crown Prosecutor Service.
Do you have a follow-up, Lisa?
Yeah, I'm wondering about individuals. Like, when we see, obviously it's one thing when somebody has one person to their house and thinks that they're going to be okay versus, 25 people getting together for a party. Even if police aren't there that night, if they find out after the fact that this happened, can they go after the individuals with a fine or charges? Can they go after an organizer if there's something more formal? But even if it's just like a casual party of, 25 good friends getting together to have some drinks, can they be reprimanded retroactively in an official sense?
First off, I'd say people need to follow the provincial health orders. Like, the easiest way to not get a ticket, to not get a fine, or to not face potential charges is to follow the Provincial Health Office's orders and the orders that have been made under the Emergency Program Act. That being said, a complaint could be made to the police can investigate. They may decide to investigate on if additional information comes in, for example, and that circumstances may in fact warrant them to look at additional charges. But the bottom line is this. Police are taking this very seriously. The vast majority of people in this province are taking the orders very seriously. And as we've seen, police are out ticketing. They will ticket those who are in attendance. They will ticket the organizers. And in cases where, after repeated attempts to get people to follow the order, then we have seen, as we've seen this past weekend, charges being laid.
Thank you. The next question comes from Tom Ziturek, Surrey Now leader.
Good afternoon, Minister Farnworth. Thanks for taking my question. Surrey's mayor has asked the ministry to look into this matter of a member of the Surrey Police Board posing in a photo with Hells Angels. Will the member be removed from the board?
As I said on Friday, I've asked my Deputy Minister and Director of Police Services to look into the matter and to get back to me, and then I'll have further information to say.
Follow-up, Tom?
Yes, are you concerned about the perception?
I think the posting of those photographs was I think, not the wisest thing to do. I think it was unfortunate. But as I said, having said that, I've asked my deputy and my director of police services to look into the matter and get back to me, and that's what they're doing.
Thank you. The next question comes from Graham Woods, Glacier Media.
Oh, hi, Mike. Just on that same topic, I know that you said on Friday you told other media, I guess the news leader and myself weren't included in those our responses from the communication staff. It's going on 3 years now, 3 years in which no officers are being added to the police detachment in Surrey, which is a city that's grown by 50,000. How's that keeping with maintaining public safety? Are you keeping a track on this?
Absolutely. Maintaining public safety and effective policing is a critical importance to my ministry. That's one of the things that my director of police services does. And so, for example, if we were to receive a request from Surrey Police, for example, that they were concerned about the ability to provide additional service or safe service, then we would be most certainly taking an initiative on that. But I can tell you that we monitor and that the Director of Police Services is well aware of the policing levels in Surrey.
Follow-up, Graham?
Sure. Thanks, Mike. With regards to these churches breaking COVID restrictions, it's kind of in your wheelhouse, but property tax exemptions are provided to churches, and according to the community charter, local councils have the initiative to set certain standards in place. If you're a good member of the community, you get a property tax exemption. What do you think about councils providing property tax exemptions next year to organizations that are breaching public health orders and that are being fined under your authority?
Local councils make decisions around areas of their authority. What matters to me is the enforcement of provincial orders and regulations by both the provincial health officer and those made under Emergency Management BC. The vast majority of religious institutions in this province have been abiding by those rules. There are, in this case, a very small number, I think 3, that have decided that the rules don't apply to them, and I think that's unfortunate. And they have been ticketed, and the police have made decisions. What's important to understand, and these people need to understand, is that I respect the role of faith in their lives, and faith helps them get through this pandemic. But faith alone is not going to prevent them from getting the virus. Following the orders of the provincial health officer will. And that's what they need to do. The vast majority of the people in this province understand that and are abiding by that. And I just think that it's unfortunate that this very small group of individuals don't do that.
The next question comes from Richard Zussman, Global News.
Minister, this is a question for you and Nicholas Jimenez as well. Are you concerned as we transition into a no-fault system that there will be a number of cases in the backlog that will drive up costs and continue to produce additional pressure financially to ICBC that will make meeting these targets in terms of reductions of rates challenging?
I can tell you that the decisions made around the rate filing that's taken place to date is based on ensuring that those claims that are already in the system are accounted for within the calculations that have been made around the financial state of ICBC.
Do you have a follow-up, Richard?
Yeah, I'm also hoping to hear from Mr. Jimenez on one of these issues as well. I just, maybe this one around, every other jurisdiction in North America seemingly has received a COVID-19 discount or a rebate, a rebate due to a decrease in risk. Mr. Jimenez, what recommendations are you providing to the minister around, as we approach year end here, British Columbia should do? We're announcing now a cut for May, but a lot of people are still hoping to get a rebate more immediately due to that decrease in risk we saw.
Well, what I can tell you on that is that in terms of optional insurance, you'll start to see that decrease in the beginning of February, on February 1st. The basic will come in on May the 1st. And as I said last week, there are options that are being presented in terms of a rebate for the overall year that will be on my desk in the next few days, from which we will be able to take an option or options to cabinet for a decision.
Thank you. And the next question comes from St. John Alexander, CTV.
Hi, good afternoon, Mike. I'm curious. We heard for years about how bad things were at ICBC. The dumpster fire came up. That was the way it was described. How are you giving these rebates and these decreases so easily now?
Well, first off, in moving to the enhanced care system, we are taking literally $1.5 billion that would have gone into fighting cases in court. That's a significant savings to the corporation. It's a significant savings in terms of being able to give lower rates to the motoring public in British Columbia. It's about affordability. And it's also about ensuring the right balance to ensure that we put ICBC in a sound financial footing, that it doesn't ever find itself in a situation again where a government literally plunders, raided, pillaged its reserves over several years. And so not only did we bring in legislation that says government can no longer take profits out, we have moved to enhanced care, which will bring significant savings. And so British Columbians will be able, as of May 1st, to see an average of $400 savings a year for each of the next 2 years.
Follow-up, St. John?
Yes, please. The rebate as well, how will that look? Will people have a choice in how they can spend it? Will it be applied to their premiums the following year? Will they be given a check? Will they have a choice in what they can do with that money?
It will depend on how they paid their insurance. So if you wrote by check or paid by cash, then you will get the rebate in that form. If you did it on your credit card, then it will be credited back to your credit card.
Question this afternoon, and that comes from Rob Shaw, Vancouver Sun. Rob, go ahead, please.
Hi, Minister. The application for the rate reductions to the Utilities Commission, which is independent and theoretically could choose not to grant it or ask for a smaller decrease, depending on how it analyzes ICBC's finances. What would you do if the Utilities Commission doesn't approve what you're requesting here?
We fully expect the Utilities Commission will be approving the largest rate decrease in over 40 years for ICBC.
Follow-up, Rob?
Okay, but it's, I mean, you know, it is an independent commission, and it could decide to do something else based on the various metrics of ICBC, like, you know, its minimum capital threshold and all sorts of different ways it could analyze it. So are you prepared to direct the commission if they don't approve with what you're doing here?
That's why that the rate filing will lay out why this is the right thing to do, and that ICBC has not only ability in terms of being able to provide the rate reduction, but will also have in place the necessary financial stability to be able to do that. You know, I've got Nicholas here who can go into a bit more detail, but let's put it this way. May 1st, British Columbians are going to get the largest rate reduction on their ICBC in, it'll be the largest rate reduction in 40 years.
Well, I would say one additional thing to your question, Rob. So, I mean, ICBC has a team of actuaries working to get the math right. We have an external actuary who's checking our math. We've hired Ernst & Young to provide an independent assessment of the assumptions that we've made. And all three parties feel that we've got our case solidly made. So we'll put it forward in the Commission. The Commission will do their review. And as the Minister said, we feel very confident that they're going to agree with our assessment of the largest rate reduction in over 40 years for ICBC's customers.
Thank you, Mr. Jimenez. And this concludes this afternoon. Thank you all for joining us.